Alright, so Abzan Bow. Bow, in this deck name, for those not familiar, refers to Vivien's Arkbow here. So this is a largely creature-based deck. In fact, this main deck is all creatures except for Vivien's Arkbow. So we've got various utility on our creatures, such as Ravenous Chupacabra. We played an Abzan Arkbow deck in the past. Notably, today we're trying out some copies of God-Eternal Oketra. While Oketra's triggered text obviously doesn't work when you're bowing things into play, she is kind of good with bow, because if your opponent kills her, she tucks herself back into your deck, and then you can immediately bow her back into play. And just having a 3/6 double strike's like a pretty big body, and you're still going to be drawing creatures with some consistency while you're playing. So let's go ahead and dive on into some matches here and see how this one goes. That does sound sweet, Gara. Last hope is Shadows, right? So that would require them to back code Eldritch Moon and Shadows. So we'll see. I hope it starts in Shadows over Innistrad. That would be my desired point for the new format to start. Give us lots of cards and ideas to play with. Basic Forest Llanowar Elves. That's EMN is Eldritch Moon, right? Or am I forgetting my abbreviations? They've not released any details on the new format, no. The new format will be here when the rotation happens at the absolute latest, because people have to have something to do with their cards that have rotated out when rotation happens. So the latest the new format will be here is when that happens. Why would I want a Nissa? What problem does my deck have that's being solved by adding Nissa to it, Unimonkey? I don't really leverage the ramp from her well. So we are dead to a removal spell here, unfortunately. I don't think we're dead to that. Creature that we can cast. Creature that we can cast. Yikes. Yeah, the big thing about playing something like Nissa in this deck is every piece of top end that we play that doesn't work with bow is less top end in our deck that we have to find with bow, which is a big deal.
Your light will cleave the darkness.
Gross. They have elephant too. This lets them attack into my 3/6 profitably. All right, so I'm gonna bow for 6 here. Because if I hit a Ravenous Chupacabra, I can kill the elephant and then kill their Gideon. Is that what I actually want to do, though? I could play Jadelight, and then I could bow for 5 inside of combat. Maybe I just want to play Jadelight here. Yeah, I think I just want to play Jadelight. That's probably the conservative play, and the conservative play is probably pretty good. Alright, yep. And then actually, these attack into my 3/6 anyways, so I can attack Oketra in here. Well, I don't really want to tap my mana creatures. Maybe I do. Maybe I want to tap my mana creatures here and just dig deep. Wow, they're just letting this die.
You do not frighten me. I tried my best.
The set's been released for 6 weeks, a little set. In fact, we're closer to a new set releasing than we are to this set having been released. Wow, they just didn't do anything. Yeah, I mean, I guess they don't really have good attacks here, huh? Any flying threat is good here. Chupacabra is also good. Those are 5 lands I don't have to draw, I guess. So what? There were 7 lands in a row on top of my deck. Wake up, sheeple! The shuffler's out to get you. My Jadelight Ranger drew 2 lands, and then there were 5 more lands on top of my deck. Everybody knows that's not how random works. Random means uniformly distributed. Seven, 8, 9. Found all the creatures. Like, we're still in a good spot even with that brick. It's just kind of a funny brick. I'm holding on to this extra bow because they could Conclave Tribunal this first one off the board. Don't mind me. I'll just be over here life Lincoln. Bunk. The angels stabilize hard and fast. Morning, Matthew. Is there a higher probability to uniformly distribute or any order? I'm not sure I understand your question. So, I mean, maybe I understand. So, like, uniformly distributed is a very specific pattern, whereas things being in a random order that involves clumps is more likely because there's more combinations of those things. Is that what you're asking? Miss Bats, thank you for the half a year support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. So, I have a lot of top end here that I want to bring in. So, like, while God-Eternal Oketra was good there, I think she's worse than these other 5 drops. Same thing, like, while this is okay, I think it's the worst of my 4 drops here. I need 3 more cuts here. Hey, Paradise Druid is slow, although having ramp is good. Maybe I trim a bow on the draw. Yeah, Knight of Autumn's pretty good here too. I mean, like, the opponent's deck also goes tall, though. Like, generally speaking, Nullhide's pretty good. Before anybody asks, yes, I submitted 61. I'm aware I submitted 61. There was 10-ish seconds left on the clock there. And the timer on Arena isn't always accurate. Sometimes you time out before you actually would time out. This hand, like, needs a second black source and, like, also needs an Explorer creature. This hand's very reasonable. It kind of sucks that our lands all deal damage to us, but perfect. Never didn't have it. The top of our deck has just been absolute fire. Well, if you don't click submit Rex box, it just doesn't sideboard. So like when you run out of time, it doesn't just submit whatever's currently at the bottom of your screen. Cumulative variance doing us a solid. Yeah, you just don't, unless you click submit with a legal deck, it just doesn't, you don't get to submit with sideboarding. Can you elaborate on why you don't think White Weenie is a good deck to be playing right now, Hits Leo? I actually think White Weenie seems more than reasonable. In fact, based on my anecdotal evidence on the ladder, my mono red seems like it's on a downswing, which seems like one of the harder matchups for White Weenie. The opponent conceded because they missed their second land drop. Hey, it's Valerie. Welcome back. Thank you for the 3 months. I appreciate it. Feels like all these mid-range decks coming up the board go over the top of it. So you fundamentally don't understand what aggro decks are then, Hits Leo. So again, the best type of card advantage is killing your opponent while they have cards in your hand. Your goal as an aggro deck isn't to beat people that are going over the top of you. It's to kill them before they go over the top of you. So you don't need to put card advantage in every single deck. Kill them with cards in their hand. And like, if you don't like playing aggro decks, you don't like killing people with cards in their hand, that's fine as a personal choice. Don't play it. It's not a good deck for you if you enjoy grinding. But like, fundamentally, that's not what aggro decks do. In fact, aggro decks like White Weenie tend to be very good against people playing greedy piles of poop that are trying to go big and go over the top of everyone, because you play a bunch of 1-drops and a Lord and then you attack them to death. Which again, this is why, well, I didn't cast my 5-mana spell because I didn't have 5 mana. And this is again why the whys are so important of what we're doing when people make statements like that, so I can understand why you feel the way you do, so we can talk about and dissect it. I don't have any meaningful data to compare for that Unimonkey, and I prefer not to just make up random things and try and push them off as facts. The Grixis control build that was based on the Logan Nettles list actually felt very reasonable. Alright, I'll bite. You have a shock or a lightning strike here. So I just get to bow the Oketra back into play next turn if that's the case. Second Nullhide deal. Yeah, that's a good example of a place that's bad to bluff. Drawing a 2-drop here is real good, because it gives me another trigger here. Because, like, I'm forced into blocking there, right? Again, I feel like you're coming from a place where you don't have a lot of experience with the mono white deck hits, Leo. Because the mono white deck has things like Conclave Tribunal and Baffling End to punch through specific cards. More Conclave Tribunal if you're worried about 4 and 5 mana things. And again, the way the mono white deck is, their good and powerful draws kill people before they get to those points. That's true. Maybe that attack was just them just missing Oketra had Double Strike. I could see that. It's not a super common card. Yes, they also get big with Elephants and Marshall. I agree. It's probably very bad against the Wilderness Reclamation decks, Kylo. It's explicitly not playing a bunch of copies of Mortify, because Reclamation's largely fallen off. Law Rune Enforcer also, yeah. Yeah, I feel like your comments are based on just, like, not actual experience. Alright, so what do I want to trim here? Again, most of my chunky top end seems good. Is Shalai the worst of the bunch because she blocks the least and she dies to Lava Coil? This at least, like, trades with things that are bigger than her. I'm going to trim Abzan again against a deck with an aggressive slant. Doesn't seem unreasonable. I don't think this is a Baffling End matchup. While they have some big cheap creatures, a lot of their things are more than 3 mana. But I think it's the best way to play Angels right now. So this is our second time playing an Abzan Bow deck, and these are the only somewhat reasonable Angel decks that I've played this season. A lot of the Angel decks just get really outclassed because the card advantage that they put together is just much worse than the other mid-range and control decks in the format. Bow at least gives you some semblance of, like, keeping your card quality high. What do the kids say? YOLO? Okie-doke. Everything's coming together just like we drew it up. So we get to shock in an Overgrown Tomb and Chupacabra this Growth Chamber Guardian and attack for 1, leaving us with a board and them having nothing. Or we get to play an elf out. Do I want to play this elf out? Or am I saving this to discard to bow? I think I'm okay playing the elf out. They're very likely not the Chain Whirler build. Have we tried a Soul-type bow deck yet? We have not, but it's actually the next deck we're going to be playing today. Let's play this land out. If I don't draw a land next turn, we'll just, like, play the creatures that we have, and if we do draw a land, we'll discard it to the bow. Why do we even have a stream title? That is a question I often wonder. Huh. I guess they feel like we're low enough that they can kill us with this. Alright, we got 2 Chupacabras and 3 Lyras. Two Chupacabras and 3 Lyras. Red Rover, let Hellkite come over. Spin to win. Spin to win. Spin to win. Spin to win. Oh no! Never forget, chat, Magic is nothing like gambling. It is a high skill game where the better player always wins. In no way does it represent rolling dice to win or lose. I'm aware that I could have played Seraph of the Scales there, but I feel like my opponent's deck almost certainly boards in Lava Coil against me, which makes this a poor chance to survive. I felt like I was higher probability to hit one of my five good cards and 7 looks there than I was to have my Seraph live to block. Hey, what's going on, Tyro? As a heads up, this deck and the other, like the Soul type build you're playing, these are viewer-submitted lists, so I'm going to give my feedback on what I think about them as we play them, but they are not things that I personally have put together. Don't use feelings, use math. What was the Hypergeo? Well, so when I say I feel there, what I'm saying is my glance at the situation is I felt like I was likely... My intuition was that I'm likely to hit there based on my amounts of experience that I have. So we were about 58%. We were a little bit better than a coin flip to find what we were looking for there. And my opponent was through a quarter of their deck with lava coils, 4 lava coils probably, so there's a much higher upside to hitting a Lyra there too, so there's that kind of payoff as well. Can't block here, unfortunately. And dig for a green source. Maybe I'm just supposed to play Seraph. What determines which 2-drop elf in the format a deck should be using? It depends on what you want to beat. So like, Paradise Druid is better against removal, whereas Incubation Druid has a better payoff at the top end. So like, if you have something like Hydrate Crisis in your deck, that's an X spell, Incubation Druid tends to be better. The actual answer is that like, a lot of decks tend to just play both, is where a lot of people have ended up at. Morning the Rex. Paradise, yep, is also bad if you expect to see a lot of Chain Whirlers. Agree with that assessment. You know what? I think I blocked the wrong creature last turn. I think I was supposed to trade with, I think I was supposed to trade with the Growth Chamber Guardian rather than the Pelt Collector. Yeah, a lot of contextual things that kind of allow you to dictate which of the two end up being better for you. Opponent just can't beat Lyra on top of our deck. All the way up to Diamond 2. Diamond 2, the Electric Boogaloo. Working on our Cast 40 Creatures quest too. Look at that. Look at that. That's interesting, Android. And that's such a good comment on different, like, local, on different, like, anecdotal bases. Because, like, I think we've only played against Mono Red on stream, like, 1 time in the last, like, 2 days of playing a ton of Standard. And you're just saying you saw a lot of it? What type of deck do I like to play typically? Hey! Hey! Talk about the devil and it will appear. My preferred playstyle for Magic the Gathering decks that I'm interested in playing in a competitive setting tends to be decks that have an aggressive slant, but also have some kind of either tricky element to them, like the Naya Feather deck, or they have a grindy element to them, like the Red Black Aristocrats deck. So I prefer decks with aggressive slants that aren't all in on that plan. You're not wrong. But I mean, the difference is I don't mind playing against mono red. Playing against Nexus is miserable. So like this deck especially is probably more than fine against mono red. Slewy, thanks for the 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, decks that play out at instant speed are fun, but I don't think I'd list those as decks I look to play in tournaments because that style of deck is rarely good. You despise the Explore package? Are you just some kind of hipster? You must be some kind of hipster. Because the Explore package is great. It adds an incredible amount of consistency to the decks that you're going to play. As far as like card design goes, the Explore package is wonderful. Yep, opponent kept to one lander and missed. Tails from RDW. Kept to one lander and bricked off. I think Oketra and Chupacabra are a little bit slow. Definitely want the extra Lyra at my top end. Knight sounds awesome here. I think I'm going to go ahead and shrimp Paradise Druid just because it's kind of mediocre against Chain Whirler. While Llanowar Elves is also not amazing in the face of Chain Whirler, I like keeping them in just because they play on one, so usually we get an activation out of them before they Chain Whirler it away. And this blocks on a very resource-efficient manner. So, like, if we trade Llanowar Elves for, like, say, their Firebrand, that's a good exchange for us a lot of the time. Yeah, I don't think my opponent's keep was bad. They just didn't get there. There's a fly in my room, chat. The only way this hand could really be better was if it had a buddy land that didn't hurt it. You know, I'm actually just going to put this into play tapped, because I think there's a good chance this elf dies. And I'd rather not shock myself for an elf that's about to die. That's a good draw. I agree. For the record, I wish Wizards of the Coast would have stuck to their guns and kept the more often rotation cycle.
My assistants are painfully sloppy.
It is I really wish Standard rotated twice a year. I think it would be better for the game if Standard rotated 2 times a year. How many sets would be in Standard at a time if it rotated that often? As many or as little as you want. You could have it rotate between 9 and 7 sets. I mean, it could just be wanting to trigger this. Like, there's definitely stuff to think about there. They could have a lava coil, but it could just be wanting to trigger this. I do not get lifelink if this kills this. This is probably still an attack that's going to happen, but I do not lifelink when it kills him. So here's the thing. A lot of people make silly, baseless claims like, it would cost me more money to rotate more times per year. Did you know, and I think a lot of people just don't think about it, because they don't think critically. Did you know the way Standard is currently structured, there are sets in the current Standard format that will only be legal for 15 months? Did you know that there are some sets in Standard for 24 months, and there are some sets that are in Standard for twice that long almost? I say it would be better because the reason I play Standard is to get variety and change from set release to set release. If I want to play a format that stays stagnant and doesn't change very often, I will play Modern or Legacy. What is supposed to be the appeal of Standard is the frequency through which it can change. What do you mean, Jeff? Some sets say... Okay, so think about it. Take 30 seconds and think about it. Magic Standard format rotates 1 time per year. So what does that have to mean for how long sets are legal for? It means that the set that gets printed right when rotation happens is legal for 24 months, but the set that gets printed right before rotation happens rotates much, much sooner than that. Take a look at the Standard rotation cycle that currently happens and look at how long each set is in until it rotates out. If you're not familiar, go to this website, what'sinstandard.com, and just do the very simple arithmetic. In fact, they could structure Standard in a way that allows it to rotate twice per year. But still has all the sets in legal for a longer time. So my preferred Standard rotation would be all sets are legal for 24 or 21 months. And then when a 9th set gets added, the oldest 2 sets rotate out. So basically what happens with Magic Standard format right now is we rotate between 5 and 8 sets being legal. And when a 9th set gets added, we rotate 4 sets out. So my preference would be if we had... that feels bad. My preference would be if we had 7 to 8 sets always legal, and when we add a 9th set, you rotate the oldest 2 out. So basically, Standard stays bigger, but fundamentally changes more often.
Oh, they're so cute.
From a design perspective, it's easier to have more things changing at once. Also, from a perspective of shaking up the format, having a slightly bigger change is better. Block constructed's not really a thing. That's not a thing that really exists anymore. I think they do it as an arena event on occasion. Yeah, we're pretty dead here. Tibalt was pretty good against us. Even Lyra wasn't very good, right? Because they have Tibalt sitting on the table. Yeah, so basically, I felt like like many arguments that exist in life, I felt like the people who argued when we had a more often rotation schedule that was going to cost them more money and these cards were playable for less, most of the cards weren't playable for less. I feel like people just really didn't sit down and think about like what currently happens. I think this is a mulligan, right? The elf is likely to die. The Arkbow's okay, but I don't have double white mana, which means I can't cast a Lyra if I draw it. And like activating Arkbow on 3 and 4 isn't that good. Well, I guess if the elf lives, it's fine. Maybe I'm talking myself into this because of the bow. I'm gonna talk myself into this because of the bow. Let's see how it goes. We just hit Diamond 2, so this is a freebie. If we lose, we don't lose any pips. No fear in this dojo. Yep. Hey, look, we drew a creature. I mean, if this elf lives, like, activating this bow for 4 on turn 3 is, like, pretty fine. Hey, Distinction, thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate the support. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Never didn't have it. I unfortunately boarded out my Chupacabras, which I think is correct, but it feels bad in this instance. I'm gonna bow in response to this, because if I hit a Shalai, they have to hit themselves in the face. Morning, Frazzlewaz. Wizard Lightning, kill the Seraph. I think if they Wizard Lightning, kill the Seraph, I'm going to... Oh, alright. Poor little elf. He is not long for this world. If we don't draw Lyra for the turn, we're going to bow for 5 before passing, because if we hit a Lyra, this will gain lifelink and gain us 5 when it attacks. I am actually going to trade here. They're probably afraid of us having Lyra, which is why they're taking that trade. They also have the Chain Whirler here, I guess. Might as well attack with these. They're not going to get to block. Killing, like, this feels a little bit bad, but, like, killing this means they can't play both of these, so I kind of deny them a card, which is nice. So before they change phases here, I'm going to bow for 5. Discarding my Shockland here. Huh? I'd rather gain 4. If they attack, I can trade. Nice, Geist. You think I actually just play this and pass? 6-6-6-6 is real good here. Sure.
Play nice, they say.
You'd play out the cemetery. I don't think I want to discard the second bow, Burgle. So like drawing the land this turn, I wanna just bow for 5 and bin the cemetery. Can they kill the bow? I'm not 100. So again, when I'm in a position like this, I want to think about what are the ways I lose the game from here. And while it's unlikely that they can kill the bow, the only way I feel like I lose this game is the bow dying. And the amount of percentage points I gain from getting 1 additional look with the bow is pretty minimal overall. So again, I'm not arguing with anybody that's saying it's uncommon for them to have a way to interact with the bow. What I'm saying is I would like to play around the literal only way I managed to lose this game. Because I feel like I am in such a good spot. The only way I lose from here is not having an Arkbow on the table any longer. So again, when you're far enough ahead, you can start thinking about the outside shots that they have and making sure they don't get a chance to take those outside shots. Yeah, the glowing red no is quite wonderful. Painfully sloppy. Was that a good draw? What do we think about that one? Listen, to be Twitch chat here for a moment and be results based, if I had played my 6th land out and bowed for 6, I would have seen both Lyras in that single bow activation, which would have resulted in me not drawing the bow this turn. So very clearly, it was super correct to only bow for 5. That's just facts and logic. Come on now. That's how you own people, with facts and logic, right? Alright, coffees for closers, and Nullhide Ferox is getting himself a cup of joe. Crunch, crunch.
I'll just go touching someone else.
Nah, I'm gonna swing at the Tibalt. Red Rover, let the red creatures come over. Oh, you don't want to attack into my bow activation? That's so sad. Ooh. Let's go to On Green Sun. And we're done here. Yep. The casual 18-point swings. $27 and hexproof. What's up? What's up, Doc? All right. We be climbing, chat. We be climbing. Yeah, the garbage type emo turned out really well. I'm definitely pleased with that one. Definitely pleased with how that one ended up. Is that the new hit reality show, 27 and hexproof? In a way, all of Twitch is kind of like a reality TV show, right? Does that make me a reality TV show star? Does that mean I'm qualified to be president? I think it does. Alright, turn 1 breeding pool. I think we're supposed to turn 2 Jadelight. Turn 1 breeding pool usually doesn't mean that I'm in danger of getting countered or discarded spell. I don't think I need a Wildgrowth Walker against the average turn 1 breeding pool start. Correct, I'm not old enough to run in 2020. Besides, that feels a little bit deep at this point. I don't think I can even name all of them. There's a lot of them. I can name all the important ones, I think, though. O'Hare, coming in hot with the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome, welcome. Hope your Thursday is treating you well. Beer Burger! Thank you for re-upping your Twitch Prime support this month. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think so. Someone was asking earlier about angel decks in general, and I think matchups like these against these Bant decks tend to be very difficult for the archetype that we're playing. That being said, 3 Shalai is like not half bad here. Hopefully they have 4 Frilled Mystics in their hand, because we're probably never casting another spell this game. Hey, look at all these creatures in our hand, chat. Look at all these creatures. Get the Arkbow up there on screen for people. Sorry, the system is down. Bowing for when you start bowing for 5, that's the sweet spot. Anything 6+ is just gravy. Yeah, I think that's about what I could get to, Slagyo. I don't think. Scooter! Doling out some sub gifties. Thanks for the support. Good morning to you. Opponent appears to be disconnected. Optimistically obtuse. Welcome. I know there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that Prime. Woo! 6 sub gifties. Oh, I was like, why are you gifting 6? That's a weird number. Good, even 400. Scooter and Marty are the sub-Santas on the channel. Welcome to our new members of Hooglandia. So many subs. That's a crisis. We're gonna let this resolve before we bow, because we could hit a Chupacabra, and Chupacabras love eating crisis. Tastes like chicken. Unfortunately, this doesn't work with the creatures I currently have in my hand. Dude, light! Rounding out their total of sub-gifties to 200. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. No, I saw a really good tweet the other day. It was, we need to add 3 states to the United States because 53 is a prime number. Then the United States would really be indivisible. All right. 1 Shalai, please. That works too, actually, right? I would like to keep this one. I'm gonna decline putting the other one back, I think. Now, I'm actually gonna put it back in there, because if they have another thief spell next turn, I could run the same play back. That attack seems loose. Because now they have to chump block. I guess I was gonna get to eat their thing otherwise. So, you can only see the amount of subs you've gifted when you gift a sub, which is stupid. My Twitch rep is hopefully gonna help me find a log so we can put a leaderboard up, but I have to get all the data from somewhere first. I'm not sure whether to unsubscribe for that pun. Listen, it wasn't my joke. I saw it on the internet. Someone else tweeted it. It was funny, though. It made me laugh. The day I learned the best counter to Mass Manip is killing your own stuff. Yeah, basically. Oh, I could make some 4/4s here. That's true. I don't know. I'm just so cut. Maybe I'm supposed to attack. Yeah, I should attack with this too, because this gives them a window to double block me. So now I don't think I want to Oketra, because if they try and take this, I want to be able to bow into Shalai in response, right? And I've bottomed 6 and 5, so I bottomed 6 and 4 cards that aren't Shalai. So there's 3 Shalais and 33 cards, and I get 7 looks. So how likely am I to hit a Shalai next turn? There's 3, I get 7 looks. I'm 52% to hit a Shalai and a bow for 7 activation next turn. So do I want to just do this, make some, I guess these are tapped. Maybe I do just want to put, nah, I think I just want to put the power into play. Because these are the good ones to take, and they're tapped, right? Alright, let's do it. Welcome to Thunderdome. This is all I got. Your move, Yugi boy. Alright, so... What do I even want in this matchup? So, like, Lyra was okay there, but is she actually a card that I want in this matchup? Yeah, maybe Duress is fine. Wildgrowth Walker is probably not something that I want, right? I feel like the extra Chupacabra could be okay. What do we think of this? I think I like this. Quick trick. Thanks for the quarter viewer support on the Twitch Prime. Welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. How do we feel about this? I think I like it. Massacre Girl could be good in the face of Nissa, is something to consider. Oh no, Ace Tiger. I'm sorry. Just look at that, a sword. There is a sword. Let's get that going. Maybe Baffling End could be good. It kills Krasis and it also kills the early mana creatures.
You show remorse.
This card is so annoying. At least we have this.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
I think I just go Branchwalker this turn. I'll leave that there.
I've got time.
Alright, Mystic me, daddy. I love that crawl. It's so good. It's like, got plenty of mana here, so Paradise Druid's gonna get frisky and get in here. Wow, is this Teferi just not going to have bounced anything this game? That's so good for me. Am I modifying anything in Naya Feather from the previous one? I think I'm going to cut the 23rd land today and see how that feels.
Here we go.
Which is weird for me. It's rare that I think a deck has too many lands, but I think that one might.
I suppose that's how it was meant to happen.
Yep.
Strange and magnificent world.
I use Sheltering Light. That's the protection spell, right? I think we had 2 of those yesterday. As always, you can find my previous decks on my Stream Decker page here. Alright, so I think this is going to be a bow for 6 pre-combat attempting to find a Chupacabra. We did not. Put my gal into play here. Send these this way. Now, bowing proactively like this is much worse in the face of a mass manipulation. So they have 2, 4, 6, 7, they have 8 mana, 9 mana. If they play a land, they could have up to 10 mana this turn. So they could take my whole board. So, like, maybe I'm not supposed to do this because it's so bad in the face of mass manipulation.
The land shall conquer you.
Yeah, I'm probably just conceding to a manipulation at this point. And if I would have, like, waited to bow, I could have bowed at end of turn and then untapped and killed the Lyra. Tristani is a good suggestion. Tristani is a good suggestion. I like that idea. I don't know that I really like this card in general. Like, killing my board is pretty bad. Yeah, these should be some Tristanis. We'll swap that out after this one. I'm going to play one more after this match. As always, if you're wondering what I played on a specific day, if you go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland, everything I stream gets broken up there by deck, and the last deck list that I would play after playing that deck is listed in the video description for easy importing and looking at. Saba Speed, thank you for the 13-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. We tend to be very organized around here. Yep. Let's gamble. Frick. I just had someone in chat comment that they felt my keep was greedy. And I think my one land keep with double mana dork, double explore creature is almost about as far from greedy as you can get. I think it's way more than reasonable. Unfortunate that they stuck Shalai this turn because it means I can't Duress them anymore. I wanted to go Duress plus Paradise Druid this turn. Feel like there's a good chance we're dead here at this point. Okay. Alright, so you're saying So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do-do-do-do-do. Killing their Shalai kills one of their possible payoffs for this mana, which is nice. Unfortunately, I don't have triple black, so I am unable to Chupacabra plus Duress this turn, which feels a little bad.
Rise, my elemental friend.
It didn't attack with more things because I fucked up. Lighthammer, thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So they could have kept their Nissa there even if no, because the Llanowar Elves would have killed it too, right? Yeah. Let's put a couple of Tristani's on the board. That was a very winnable. If I took a second and counted, and we killed the Nissa there, I think we would have very easily won that game. The opponent's deck, for people not familiar, see someone saying it's interesting in chat. The opponent's deck's an established tier 1 deck. It basically two very similar copies of that archetype, top 8 of the last Grand Prix last weekend. Yeah, definitely Brimstone. There's a lot of bottom dwelling trolls on the internet who like talk about how people who are streaming aren't actually good at Magic because they make simple mistakes like that, where I'm like talking through or like grabbing a stack while I'm clicking and like don't fully stop to count everything. And it's just like, well, believe it or not, when you're doing 3 other things while playing Magic, you play Magic worse than when you're just focusing on the game. That's just like the long and short of it. Lil Bappy, thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. What was the deck the opponent played earlier? That was one of the decks the top 8 of the Grand Prix last weekend. Bant Mass Manipulation. Perfect. Oh no. Breeding Pool means they're probably playing Reclamation. Maybe we can aggro them out. So, even if they have something like Niv Mizzet next turn, I have Ravenous Chupacabra to kill that. They can have something like Fiery Cannonade here to keep themselves alive, but... Oh, I don't have a second black source for this Chupacabra yet, huh? Yeah, Wildgrowth Walkers, if they have Lava Coil plus Fiery Cannonade, I'm in trouble. Shake my world. They're still dead on board. Really want to draw a black source here so that way we can kill this land and have a good chance to end the game. Never, didn't have it. Gobble, gobble. So they have to kill 2 of my creatures here. We could be getting root snared here. It's very true. I don't know why I clicked on all of those instead of hitting attack all. Yay! Fun magic! Yay! So they have 6, 7, 8, 9. They have 11 mana here. So they can draw 7 cards with an expansion explosion if they wanted. Did you hit a root snare? Did you hit a root snare?
The land shall conquer you.
Scale of 1 to root snare. Okay, we're on the root snare side of the scale. Got it. Yeah. Oh wait, they can still root snare. Whew. Whew. All right. As playing against these decks always go, I don't feel like I beat my opponent. I just feel like they failed to beat me. We can unclench now at least. Lyra's a little bit slow. I feel like I want Chupacabra for killing their random lands. Maybe that's not good enough. Seraph is a little bit mediocre. Yeah, I don't know. They could be on manipulation too. That makes me want to leave in Shalai. Yeah, I guess Oketra is slow too. That's fair. Just want to be as aggressive as possible. A lot of the decks that are playing Nissa aren't playing Wilderness Reclamation. They're playing Nissa instead of. So if I see Wilderness Reclamation this game, I'll bring in Night for game 3. But I don't think I bring in Night in the Dark currently. This hand would love a Shockland on 1. Basic Force is pretty good too. So I think the sequencing play here is Wildgrowth Walker on 2 into Duress, Wildgrowth Walker on 3. Just to fully use my resources and add pressure to the table. Sarkin. So I gotta... not uncommon for these decks to board in additional threats post-board. They do, in fact, have a Wilderness Reclamation. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take that here. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick this Branchwalker. You want to board in Tristani in this matchup? Maybe. She does kind of put extra damage into play in a strange sort of way. They draw another Wilderness Reclamation. They basically drew another Wilderness Reclamation.
To the library.
Because we didn't see any enchantments. Game 1, blue is the color. I talked explicitly about that 30... Fuck. Hope they don't draw their sweeper, Chewy. It's not a particularly interesting or stimulating game of Magic the Gathering. You do your stuff. Hope they don't draw their sweeper. Can I mail you a Lumbering Battlements design and mail back to me? Yeah, I have a P.O. box here. Whatever the command is. It's like not amazing, but it's fine. Morning, Garth. Thanks for the biddies. We just do this in case we hit the Explore creature. Activating the bow ASAP, like, isn't a huge thing. Sweet. We'll get a chance to check out if our Tristanis are going to be good here or not. Hey, Light. Thanks for the half a year. Welcome back. If we brick on a land next turn, we're probably going to activate the bow for 3 to try and hit a Jadelight Ranger. Yeah. Alright. 26 lands later. Gosh, they're playing Druid of the Cowl, too. Wonder if they're not playing Incubation Druid. Nyan Dreaming, thanks for the 15 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Oh, yeah, Paradise Druid. Whatever that other one is. Nope. They just have that one, too. So they're just playing, like, 13 mana dorks? Or, like, 12 more than 12? Must be, huh? Hey, Garth, thanks for the 5th month. Welcome back. Just don't have good attacks here. Yeah, maybe they were short a wild card for the last Incubation Druid. I mean, if they have Mystic, they have Mystic Stormy. Like, with most of my 4s in my hand, bowing for 4 here is really bad. So definitely need to just cast my spell and hope for the best.
The land fights for us.
I mean, like, what Bant decks are you referring to, Lighthammer? There were literally just 2 Bant decks in the top 8 of a Grand Prix. So maybe I just don't understand what you're referencing. Yeah, this archetype's very popular on the ladder lately. Immortal Sun is symmetrical. Their Nissa no longer does anything other than double their mana. Yeah, I agree. This card's very good in the aggro matchup. The 1/3 stat line is not nothing. So they have 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 mana. This card in general might not be very good here. I'm bringing a couple of Baffling Ends to attack their mana creatures, I think. Do I want Despark? I guess it tags Nissa and Immortal Sun. That's probably fine. Yeah, the opponent's deck is definitely an example of why basic mountains are good. Definitely a good example of why basic mountains are good and popular. Leave that there. Ham was lacking some early plays. Running off a couple explore creatures here is pretty good for us. That can stay there with Oketra. Opponent not having an accelerant on 2 when they're playing Druid of the Cowl seems real weird. They're pretty likely to have that, right? I guess this card just making 2 2/2s is going to be, like, kind of good here for them, huh? I'm actually just going to go ahead and go Arkbow tapped land here. And then plan to curve Oketra into stuff, I think. Sure. I wonder if they're even playing Manipulation. Yeah, this is likely, again, the list from the Grand Prix, which had 2 copies of Finale in it. I mean, if they get to Finale for 5 here, and they start activating Shalai, that's kind of difficult to race, huh? They might take a turn and fart the Incubation Druid. I guess they could also just do this, which inadvertently farts the Incubation Druid. Makes it a little bit smaller, though. So, while Oketra obviously doesn't have direct synergy with bowing things into play, getting your Oketra back is very easy with the bow, because you know it's coming, right? Also puts an incredible amount of pressure into play very quickly. So next turn, if they play a land, they have 7, they have 10, they can make 8 things with this. And 8 things with that alongside Shalai is pretty good. No attack with the God. Yeah, that was a mistake. This attack was pretty free. Alright, well, we get to bow into that at least. If this attack would have happened last turn, they would have had to chump block with this or be dead now. Now they get to eat a 2-2 with it. So that mistake kind of snowballs on us. You get to gain 4 and go to 11 here. Kill you. Alright, well I guess that makes up for all the misclicks I've done so far. Perhaps they thought their soldiers had lifelink, maybe? We've got a lot of mana. Just need like a bow or a Shalai to take advantage of it. I think I just want to dig to my payoffs here. Hey, Reglife, thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. I'm going to go ahead and leave that there because it allows me to apply a little bit of pressure. If they trade here, it takes me off of double black, which maybe I live to regret, but like, I have a Jadelight Ranger next turn. We might just be able to run them down on the play here with that Despark. Still looking for a Bow or a Shalai or a Tristani. If they have Finale here, we're probably gonna get gummed up because they get 3/2/2s off of it, which stops all of our aggression. 4/3 means I can't attack with this. Yeah. Despark looking plenty awkward here. Next turn, this turns into a 3/5, which makes things bad for us. Hoping to draw Chupacabra to cut through that. They could just Crisis for 4 here. They could play a land and Finale for 5, which is very good. So I'd like to draw like Chupacabra. Bow, Shalai, a few good ones. It was not on the list of good ones. I think boarding in Despark is fine. We're going to hold lands from this point for bow activations if we get there. I assume they're going to fart this and then untap and play a spell that buries us. Sure. Alright, well they don't have a lot going on either, I guess. Glass half full. I guess to wrap, the Oketra was good at a number of spots there. When we played this card a bunch in the Bantbow deck, I ended up being underwhelmed by it, but it felt pretty reasonable here. Because this build doesn't have things like Frilled Mystic in it to be a little bit reactive, this card allowing us to be more proactive on average seems fine. I think for what it's worth, our record, and this is why it's important to just like think about more than the record at the end too. Like, we lost a match because I misclicked, and we lost a match because we mulliganed a bunch, and that's just like, we lost a match because we didn't draw any spells at a game 3. That's just like kinda how it goes. I think if you're looking to play with the Angel Shell with these cards, I definitely think this is our second time playing an Abzan Bow style deck, and this is definitely the most competitive Angel style shell that I've played in this format. But I do think in general, even this deck is still kind of overshadowed by like the Command the Dread Horde and like mass manipulation style things that are going on in the format. Like the amount of fair that this deck is compared to those things.